I can't believe I'm about to talk about Twilight fanfiction as a film. So I saw 50 Shades of Grey. I've never read the book, I boycotted the book, but nothing was going to stop me from seeing the movie. Not even the millions of people, not millions, but even the multitude of people telling me, Christine, and Kat not to see it. No. So this is a review, but it's mostly a discussion and a little bit of a rant. Because I finally witnessed the film and I know what is in the story. And I just kind of want to reply, not to the hate, but just to the people who are attacking us. Us meaning the people who chose to see this movie. So I've been online looking at all the posts on Tumblr about 50 Shades of Grey, looking at some of the news articles people have been writing, some of the reviews, and I just have a lot to say. So many people are so upset with this movie. And I'm just like, where did y'all come from? Where were you when the book was published? I didn't hear you then. I can honestly say that 50 Shades of Grey does glamorize an abusive relationship. And that is nothing new. What I don't get is why people aren't talking about how this is basically Twilight. This is Twilight. You know, if you weren't aware of it, 50 Shades of Grey was Twilight fanfiction. It was published on fanfiction.net. I read the first 3 chapters when it was Master of the Universe. I have an interesting approach to this film because I was a huge Twihard and I read Twilight fanfiction. If you've seen any of my other videos talking about Twilight, you knew I was reading Twilight fanfiction between the ages of 15 and 18, 17, 18. I was well aware of this book and I got bored. I read the first 3 chapters and I was bored. And then all of a sudden it becomes this huge phenomenon, and then all these other Twilight fanfics start getting published after it. When I went in to see this movie, I wasn't expecting how it was just almost basically Twilight. A big thing in the Twilight fanfiction world, if you guys weren't at all a part of it, was the alternate universe, and usually the alternate universe was just take the characters, they're not vampires, and put them into just a different setting with more grown-up things, more mature themes. E.L. James wrote a Twilight fanfiction with Edward and Bella and all the rest of the Cullens, and quite a few more characters. I'll get into that later. She just switched out the vampire aspect for a BDSM aspect and made Edward a whole lot more effed up. I wanted to see this film purely because I was kind of excited about seeing Edward and Bella on screen again. And I just really wanted to make fun of it because I still can't believe Twilight fanfiction was published and it's popular and it's a movie. I almost couldn't handle the film. I was sitting next to Christine and Kat. We were laughing so hard and we were like, she was slapping me, but there was points where I'm like, oh my gosh. Some of the things that Christian was saying, like, I don't do romance. I'm not good for you. This isn't, we shouldn't be doing this. And I'm like, oh, I'm the bad guy. It's Edward and Bella. The first 40 minutes of the film was just purely Twilight. There was a part of me that had so much fun watching that and actually watching the Twilight fanfic come to life. And then there was another part of me that couldn't believe what was happening and what had happened. So while seeing all of the controversy online, not many people are talking about how this is Twilight. There were so many people who hated Twilight, and then those people who hated Twilight are going to see this movie, have read this book. It gives me like a sick giddiness that people are watching this and loving it. I'm going to be spoiling the movie. The storyline is like dismal, and the sex stuff, you have to go watch it to, you know, experience it, and then all the Twilight parallels. I mean, I'm not going to be spoiling basically anything. But the end, I didn't expect it to end there. I think that's what I had a really big problem with this movie, is that there was absolutely no climax. It was just all build up until the very last scene was like climactic, and there was no downfall after that. And that is because this book was chopped up into 3 books. It was supposed to be one story. But of course, everyone wants to make money, and so that's why it's 3 books. books. I actually came out of the movie wanting to read the second book. Now that I've had a couple days to think about it, there is no way in hell I will be reading the second book or the third book. I'll just wait till the movies come out because no. I actually really like this movie. Like I said, I enjoyed myself. I had a really fun time with my friends picking out all the different Twilight parallels. I mean, I think the one that got me the most was how Anastasia was working in like a hardware store, and in the books Bella works at a fishing store, you know, Mike Newton's store, and Mike Newton was there. I mean, that's what really got me, was that. And then of course you have Jacob, which I think his name is Jose. I mean, could E.L. James just not, you know, change his name to like a different J name? And then of course we had Rosalie, and if you guys didn't read Twilight fanfiction, Rosalie was portrayed in Twilight fanfiction as usually like the best friend sometimes, not so much Alice. Alice was always like Edward's sister. She was always with Edward's side. Rosalie was always like the supermodel, good looks, wanting to break Bella out of her shell, and so that was the Rosalie that we saw on screen. What is her name? Like Kate Kavanaugh or something? On Twitter there was a tweet saying like, don't you wish you had a best friend just like Kate? I'm like, no. Bitch stole her sandwich. And then we have Alice, which was Rita Ora, who was in it for like 2 seconds. And Rita Ora has like blonde hair. I mean, she usually has a weave, but they put on this wig. Like, really? Really? Why couldn't you just made Rita Ora not look like Alice? I mean, she's gorgeous with her blonde hair. I mean, did we have to put like a short like 1920s flapper girl hairstyle on her to make her look like Alice? Was that really necessary? Just in the movie, not in the book. I know that there was a ton of stuff cut out. I think Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan did a good job. I like Dakota Johnson more than Jamie Dornan. The lines that Jamie was given were straight from the books, like, I don't do romance, I hard. And I'm like, ugh. I literally laughed out at that line. Like, what? Who says that? Giving myself a couple days to stew about this, I definitely see how manipulative Christian Grey was. So I do agree with that. I was actually feeling kind of uncomfortable through the last portion of the movie after all the Twilight crap in the beginning, and then when we got more into their relationship and he wanted Anna to do all of these things. Anna said yes to all of it, but I read something online where they talked about how Christian was grooming Anna so that she would conform to what he wanted. I really didn't like how he just showed up at her apartment with like 2 glasses of wine and she's like, what are you doing here? That was very Edward-y, watching Bella sleep and coming into her room. Very Edward-y. The problem I think that everyone has with this movie is that it does glamorize a abusive relationship. Christian Grey is a millionaire and Anna's just like this, you know, nobody college student. I mean, exactly like Twilight. But no one really had this big a deal with Twilight because of the vampire aspect, because it's not real. This is real. There are so many people worried about, you know, women seeing this movie, young women seeing this movie, and wanting someone like Christian Grey to... I'm not going to go into that. But this is fiction. If you're allowing fiction to determine your life, then there's something wrong. As a booktuber, as someone who loves to read and makes fun of being a fangirl, I'm a fangirl, I've been doing this for a very long time. I know when to separate fiction from real life. The only book that I let influence me is the Bible. So I would expect lots of people to have a problem with that. I definitely saw a post on Tumblr saying how there's rape and, you know, killing and everything in that book. I mean, there is. I've read it and I still let it influence me, so haters gonna hate. I'm honestly super upset that people are attacking myself and my friends for seeing this movie. There are a whole lot of things worse than this, and this is nothing new. This is erotica that has come to screen. There are Harley Quinn romances that were published years ago that have the same exact stuff in it. The only thing new about this is that it's Twilight fanfiction. It's Twilight fanfiction. I can't get over it. I think my biggest problem with this film is that there are so many other Twilight fanfictions that have now been published that could have been a better film than 50 Shades of Grey. I still don't understand why 50 Shades of Grey is super popular. It's horrible. It should have stayed fanfiction. I'm saying it now. Should have stayed fanfiction. Never should have published. No, never should become a film. No. But it is now. We can't do anything about that. The film made $81.7 million opening weekend. Twilight made $75 million its opening weekend. This is the start of another phenomenon. So people, get ready to see more films just like this. Don't know if this is necessarily a review. This was basically a discussion. So I'm gonna leave you guys. My favorite scene of the movie was definitely when Anna was cooking for Christian, because we got to see Bella cook for Edward, and I really missed that in the Twilight films. That was my favorite part. I think one of my favorite parts of the books, and it was just super cute. Please be nice in the comments, please. I'm definitely gonna go see the second movie just for the fact that it's Twilight. And I can't wait to see what other films are going to be made because of this, because Hollywood does this all the time. We always see a very, very clear pattern of films once one becomes super successful. I'd love to see Ugly Love. That's the next one I want to see. Please make Ugly Love. It's already in the works. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you all in my next video. Keep calm and fangirl on. Bye! I thought of another Twilight parallel while reading some reviews, was when Christian takes her in that like little airplane. She's having so much fun. Spider monkey scene when he takes her and climbs up trees. Right?